yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's been a hot minute. Like pretty sure we had FaceTimed like my fiance's family back in like March, April, or not.
Yeah.
We did it like on here. So yeah. Either way, it's been a hot minute. So hi.
Hey,
How
how are you?
good?
Good. So how's your internship been going so far?
Oh my goodness. So I finished food service yesterday. So let's see, today's Saturday. I start community Monday. Yay.
Oh, that's exciting. How did you like food service?
So I was at the Head Start here in Nashville. It was okay. It was in a very old building, so it was like over 100 years old, and it just wasn't like the best, but like it wasn't
Hmm.
awful. So it
Yeah.
was
How long was your food service rotation?
6 weeks. Now I think they shortened things like this go around because of COVID, but I don't know if they shortened food service. So like how long was your food service?
My food service was 6 weeks too. Um,
Oh, okay. Well then that's not bad then.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Ours was 6 weeks, but like after everything with COVID and everything, um,
Mm,
they were like really flexible on actually like how many hours you had for every rotation. It's just like
yeah.
how many total hours you have, and if you met all the competencies, then then you're
Yeah.
good to go. Like they weren't
Okay.
super strict on having this many hours for that rotation.
Okay, good. Yeah. Yeah. And then I'm pretty sure for clinical, they shortened it to 1,000 hours instead of, or I'm sorry. No, that's as a total. For clinical, they shortened it to 400 hours as opposed to 600. I think that's right.
Yeah, so your internship specifically, yeah. So yeah,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
because mine was like 720. That was like how many clinical hours, which was a lot.
Oh my
Um,
God.
we
Yes.
yeah, we were supposed to have 720, but because of everything, they shortened it. Well, they basically just said like get as many as you can. So I ended up getting I think around like 450 or so. But
Okay.
like
Good.
originally I was planning on doing 720 there.
Oh my God. That's a lot.
Yeah, it is a
Gee.
lot. Um,
Now, but you are basically all done, right, with the internship part, or no?
Yeah, yeah, I'm all done with the internship part. I actually just took like my final exam this week. Um, so I got
Yay.
done with that. So now I'm just kind of studying for the, actual RD exam.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. That is like super, super exciting. So then will that be in the springtime or when are you gonna take that?
So I'm hoping I haven't scheduled it yet, but I'm hoping to get somewhere in like probably mid-January.
Okay. Hell
That's
yeah.
that's what I'm hoping. At least like by the end of January. I don't want to go any farther than January before taking it.
Right.
Start 2021 off on a good note, hopefully. So
Yes. Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
So for the audience listening or watching, if you're in the Facebook group, this is Kayla Williams. She is a future registered dietitian. She's a
Oh,
dietetic intern.
sorry. So like my preceptor is actually calling me. Like I don't mean to do you mind if like I answer this because like she didn't go and finish like my competency things. So like do you mind if like I just answer this like really fast?
No, go ahead.
Oh shit. Sorry. All right, give me like 1 second. I'm like so sorry because so yeah, so I think it was yesterday she was supposed to go and like approve everything and like she
Yeah.
did. I don't know if she's like trying to well, I'll just text her. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
She just like she doesn't ever like do this, so I'll say hi. I'm um, what's up?
So this is the beauty of going live, right?
Right. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. Yeah. So I just sent her a message. So we'll see. She really doesn't answer them well. Like when I was there, like she would go and then kind of answer me like hours afterwards. So she may have like accidentally called me too. So
Oh, okay.
that could have also been it. So I'm so sorry. So back to what
That's
we
okay. So yeah, obviously she's a dietetic intern. She has her preceptor messaging her,
yes.
during the podcast. So she's super busy with that. I
Yes.
followed her for I don't know, maybe like 6 months or so, possibly, maybe a little longer than that. I don't even remember like how we ended up following each other.
I
Um,
know. I'm trying to think too. It might have been because I know Kara was on, or Kara
Kara.
got Kara, yes. So she was on your podcast, and I listened to that. I'm pretty sure, and then maybe that's how. I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. I know like we have a lot of mutual followers, so probably somebody
Yeah.
shared a post of like
Yes.
one of yours or one of mine, and then we saw
Mhm.
it that way, and we're like, wow, we have like similar views, so we might as well
Yes.
follow each other.
Yes.
Um,
Definitely.
but yeah, she's super super educated. She has her own business, which I know we'll probably talk about during this podcast, so I'm excited about
Woo.
that. Um, so Kayla, tell the audience a little bit about yourself. Anything like where you grew up, any kind of fun facts or whatever you want to say.
Let's see. So, I originally grew up in like Winchester, Virginia. So that's and I'm currently in Nashville. So that's about like 10 hours away. So I was there basically from kindergarten to senior year of college, and then I guess it'd be the year after senior year of college. So either way, a long ass time. So then I came down here to get my post baccalaureate certificate in nutrition. So then I've been down here since 2018, I think it was. And then we're actually going to be moving, yay, in September of 2021. So after the wedding. Yay.
Cool,
So
cool. So,
uh,
did you guys plan to get married then, or did you plan to get married sooner and had to push it back?
in 2021. So that
Okay,
was like
that
all
was just the
good.
plan.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Because I
Yes.
know a lot of people had to push their weddings back, which is just, oh my
Yeah.
God, crazy. Luckily, my
Exactly.
wife and I, we got married the year before and we
Oh,
avoided
good.
all of that because, like, I couldn't imagine the stress of having everything planned and then having to reschedule everything.
That would be just like friggin' awful. Oh my goodness. That would be so terrible.
Yeah. So, where are you moving to then?
That's a great question.
Not
So
sure.
either, yeah, so I would say either Florida or somewhere in North Carolina, like by the beach. So we'll see.
Someplace warm.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm pretty sure right now it's like in the 60s here, but like it's not that hot like right now. I mean, obviously, like in the summertime, yes, it is, but I just want it like to always be like super hot.
Yeah, if Ohio would never get under like 60 degrees, that would be perfect.
Yeah,
Um,
see? Yeah, but you said it's like 45 right now?
yeah, I think it's around like 45 now. It was like below 30, I think, early this morning.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it's terrible.
That's so fun.
I'm definitely not like a cold or winter or snow person.
Yes, no, I feel that completely. But
So, did you say that you did something else before nutrition, like in
yeah.
college, or what
Mhm.
was that
Yeah.
before?
So I originally have my bachelor's in kinesiology with a concentration in exercise science from James Madison University. So that's what I originally went for. Realized my senior year that so I think I was in a some type of weight management class, and we only had to take one, and then we had to take like a basics of nutrition, so like the very like first one, and so after I took those, I was like, wow, this is honestly like a lot better.
Hmm. Yeah,
But then at the same time, that was fall of, let's say, graduated 2017. That was fall of 2016 then. And I was like, yeah, no, like I can't just go and like change it like right now. Because like at the time, I think to get into JMU's diet, like into their dietetic program, you had to have at least like a three. And I had like a 2.6. So I was like, no. So yeah, so then let's see, so then after college I worked as like a sports like a wait, I'm trying to think of like the whole term, like a sports like performance coach, yes, for kids, and then there were some adults but mainly kids, and then yeah, I realized a couple months into that I was like, no. So then I looked and went to Lipscomb the following fall. So, and now I'm here.
gotcha. So you got into it like pretty late. compared to, some other people who started like right away. I feel like a lot of the people that I've had on my podcast that are into nutrition, going to be a dietitian, a lot of them have like, they started out with something else. And then like 2 or 3 years in, they realized like, oh, I like nutrition and I want to do this. Cause that's how I was too. Like
Oh, really?
yeah, I didn't realize I wanted to do nutrition until like senior year of college. I did
Yeah.
psychology, and senior year of college,
Oh, cool.
I realized like I'm really into this nutrition thing. Um,
Mhm.
and I'd been into it for the past couple years, but I didn't really honestly know that there was actually like a career for it until
Mm,
my senior
I
year.
feel that.
So yeah, so I finished up with my psychology degree, but then I just for my master's, I just went did my master's and then took like all those undergraduate nutrition courses too. Um,
Okay.
so
So,
definitely unconventional route there.
yes, exactly. So then let's see. So if you have a master, so then what is your what is your um like degree in? For
So
that
it's
for
it's
a
in
master's.
food and nutrition sciences.
Oh, cool. Okay. Very nice. That is
Yeah.
awesome.
So I guess how did you even like get into nutrition? Because I know you took that one course. Was it just that one course that like got you into it, and then those like that time period when you were kind of working, you were still like it was kind of lingering in the back of your head, like, oh, I still really like this. I might want to do that.
So yeah, I'm trying to think. So basically, those two classes. So at the time, senior year, I had asked the guy who was like the head of the like nutrition like department there. So I had asked him if there was any way that I could get into like a couple other other classes, and then he tried and then couldn't override them. So yeah, so that's kind of how that went. But then kind of growing up, I had always been like surrounded like by my mom, dad, like grandparents, aunt, uncles, etc., who were also like super into like health and everything. And so my dad was actually a bodybuilder when he was in college. And so
Wow.
my aunt, yes. And so my aunt she was a bikini competitor, and she actually has her pro card, which is like pretty awesome.
Wow. So
But
it kind of runs in the family then.
yes, yep. And yeah, so basically, so I went to a couple of her shows back when I think I was in college or maybe high school. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, like, this is all just like so freaking awesome. And so, yeah, that's kind of basically like how I got into it. And then I had realized, like, throughout the time from after graduating to quitting, that, like, following job, that I was just like, no, like, I don't actually enjoy kind of like training like in person. Like, I would rather go and like do the whole like food thing, and then just kind of help them out like with that. So yeah, so that's kind of how that went.
Yeah. Um, so you've competed before, right?
Yep, I've done 2 shows so far. Sadly, I'm not going back on a stage until 2022, but when I do go back, I'm super super amped. So
So
I'm excited.
how I guess when was your first show? That would be my first question.
Yeah, so okay, let me think. 20 Wait, I moved down here 2018. So August of 2018. It was literally a week before I moved down here. So bad idea there, but yeah, so that was the first one. That was the J Color Classic in Richmond, Virginia. And then I did my most recent one, October of 2019. So I definitely should have probably taken off like a lot more time in between those two.
Hmm.
But I was like, oh no, let's just like go ahead. No, I
Yeah.
shouldn't have.
Well, now you're taking 3 years off in between, right?
Yes.
So like
So I
2019, and
better
then
have been doing, yeah, hopefully we'll see like some good like progress.
yeah. And I guess I want to ask you this,
Yeah.
because I think this would be valuable for the audience to hear.
Mhm.
Like, why do you feel like you didn't take enough time off?
Why? Because well, so there's actually like a couple different like reasons. So for the very like first part, I would say personally, like I lost like a lot of weight. Like during that prep, like I'm trying to think, I kept like a log of my weights. It was at least, shoot, I don't think it was 20 pounds, but it may have been 20 pounds. And that's just like a lot. And so basically, like I'm pretty sure I also lost, oh my God, hold on. Why is everything being so loud today?
And
Um,
20 pounds is probably a lot too if you're already starting out like
well,
relatively lean, you know.
yes, yes, yep. And so I lost a lot of, I would say, mass in my shoulders also. And so, obviously, like for figure, like, shoulders, lats, etc. Like they have to be just like on point, right? And I mean, I would say either way though, like, and the classes I was in, like, I still got, trying to think now, I got, it was first place in my class, yeah, and then first, and then it was the overall like novice, so it wasn't the overall open, which obviously would have been like a lot cooler,
Yeah,
but
no, I mean that's still an accomplishment though.
oh, definitely,
So quick question. So
yeah,
I'm not like super familiar with like the different
oh,
like classes and stuff. Is
yeah,
figure more I don't like compared to bikini, is bikini, I don't know, figure more like muscular, like more people who
a little bit more.
okay.
Yeah, and so like so I would say, because I honestly like, don't want to ever go and like take like anything.
Mhm.
I don't know how well figure would kind of be like in 2022. Like I don't know if at some point I should go down like kind of like to bikini. I really like do not want to, but at the same time I don't know because like those girls have got just like some awesome delts, and I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. So this is another random question too. So the
Yeah.
difference between like figure and bikini, do they have like different posing routines that they make
Oh
you
yeah.
do then as well?
Yes, definitely. Sorry. I don't know if like you can hear like on like my
Mm,
computer.
yeah, yeah, I can hear it go off.
So hold on, pause. Is there a way that you can actually like turn off like the sound for messages like on your computer, but then still like you can hear you, if that makes sense?
Um
Like, do you know?
yes. So if you open up your iMessages and
Okay,
then
give me
go to file at the top left and
okay,
then
let
go
me
to
do that.
sorry.
No, 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 no. You're fine. Now my
Or no,
computer's
not file, you go to messages, sorry.
okay. All right, let me
Messages and then preferences and then play sound effects and then if you check that off, I think that turns it off.
okay, perfect. Let me do that. Ah, I never knew that. Okay, great. All right, now that's off. Okay, good. Sorry.
That's okay. So yeah, like, are there different poses that they have you do for like figure versus bikini then?
Definitely. Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, so I would say usually like for bikini, it's they basically look at glutes, right? Obviously. Glutes, glutes, glutes. They don't look at your back at all, which is just like super wild. They do still look at, pretty sure that do look at your arms. Well, like not arms, but like your shoulders, and then definitely like midsection. It's all just like very sub it's like subjective, like obviously like that's just like what it is, but like
Yeah.
bikini is just like extremely complicated. So that's also why I'm like I don't know, so we'll just kind of see, I guess, where we are a year from right now and just kind of see. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, going back to like why you feel like you should have taken more time in between.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let's see. So yeah, so I had obviously lost a lot of muscle, right? In the first place. And I was just like way too excited, right? Because I was like, oh yay. And obviously like I did, so when I done my first prep, that was the leanest, right, that I have ever gotten. And so then it just kind of like messed like with my head, and I was like, oh my God, I have to go like back. No, like you shouldn't do that.
Mhm.
So yeah, I feel like that's probably also why. And I mean, I thought that I was like ready. I probably could have waited until like at least this year. But I mean, this year would have like would have just been awful, either
Oh
way.
yeah,
I
this
think
year would
I
have
would
been awful.
win. Yeah.
So what would have been kind of the benefits of um waiting, I guess? Do you feel like you would have had better improvements in your physique?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely more muscle mass in my delts, my back. I'm trying to think. That's what the judges trying to think of what their feedback was from the last show. It was definitely work on the shoulders, and then I think for back they may have said like widen, or yeah, something about like widening my lats in general. So yeah. So we'll just kind of see
Yeah.
like what happens in
Yeah,
2020.
and I think that's a good point. Like, obviously, you talking about your competitions, that's kind of like, the tip top of the extreme, when
Oh,
it comes to like, like training and changing your body with nutrition and stuff. But
yeah.
I mean, those principles still kind of apply to more like basic and general people too. Like
Yeah,
people, they if they want to actually improve their physique over time, they can't just go from an extreme cut and then like take, just a couple months off and then try to go into another extreme cut again.
exactly.
Like you're not going to see that much progress in your physique by doing that because it takes a long time being in, like a calorie surplus to build
Mhm.
muscle.
Yes, yep. And so I'm trying to think. I was probably really only in a surplus, probably from, let me think, probably October to March. And that's really not like a long time, right? So bad
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah. Well, now you'll be able to look at, your pictures from 2018 and then your pictures from 2019, see the
Hmm.
difference, and
Yep.
then now 2022 comes around and you compete again. I'm sure you're going to see like a way bigger difference between 2019 and 2022 versus,
Yes.
2018 and 2019. So, um
Hmm.
so if you want to improve your physique, you have to have those long periods of time in there where you aren't trying to diet, because if you are constantly always dieting, always trying to be super lean and a low body fat percentage, you're just holding yourself back of how much muscle you can actually build.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So actually, I recently just kind of I'm trying to think. I recently just kind of like changed, I would say like my overall like headspace, I guess you kind of could say, with like regards like to all of that. Probably, let's see, we're in November, probably a month ago. And my show was exactly, no, not exactly. It was a little over a year ago. So it's literally taken me a whole year to like kind of like be like, all right, we actually have to like be eating. Like we can't just like, not eat. Well, obviously like we were eating, but so yeah, it's definitely been a long ride.
Yeah, yeah. And I think I think a lot of competitors deal with that where it's hard to basically, get used to the idea. Once you get that lean, it's hard to get used to the idea that, you shouldn't be that lean always.
Bingo.
And like, I guess I'll ask you this too.
Mhm.
Those two competitions that were pretty close,
Yeah.
within about a year, maybe slightly over a year.
Mhm.
Do you feel in any way that maybe you jumped into another competition for almost like an excuse to keep yourself that lean or to get that lean again?
Definitely, yeah, because so I kind of like began like that prep as a quote unquote like, it was like a like mini cut thing back last April. Okay, wait, yeah, April of 2019. My show wasn't until October. So I was basically in a deficit from April to October. That's awful. That is way too
Wow.
long. So, yes, 100% just kind of was like, yeah, I really like being like that lean. Well, yes, but at the same time, a lot of like things kind of suffered too. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to not get stuck on how lean you used to be in that position and think that you can always maintain that leanness.
Yeah,
Um,
you definitely cannot. Like, for anybody I'm out there, like, no, you cannot do that.
so I guess were there any negative things that you experienced by trying to stay that lean for, I guess, that long period of time?
Let's see. I mean, definitely like I was very hungry, right? Obviously. And I mean, to be fair though, like my calories didn't really get super low until trying to think, probably like September-ish. So like exactly like a month prior to. So I mean, either way, I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, obviously like I was super angry like all of the time. Just because like everything was just up like and down, and even at like my old job, like they had actually told me that they didn't like when I was in prep because I was just like a bitch. So there is that too.
So super hungry, not so fun to be around, super irritable. I'm sure
Exactly.
your gym performance was probably a lot better once you started adding more food and then even just gaining a little bit of body fat too.
Yes. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. That's been a lot better. And I would say probably gym performance in general has probably been better the past like month too, because I'm like, like we have, let's see, we're in almost in 2020. We have exactly like a year plus, and we can like, we just have to kind of, put forth like the effort, and like actually kind of achieve what we want, right? And that is to obviously build up back, shoulders, etc. So we have to actually do this. So yes, we are in it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's a good point to just emphasize that like for the people listening, when you see like these pictures of people like on stage and they're just completely jacked and have veins everywhere, you can see every cut of their, triceps and back and everything. Like that they're not maintaining that year round. And if they are, they aren't feeling
We're
or
on
performing their
something.
best.
Yes, yes, exactly. Yeah, it's crazy.
So um so you have your nutrition coaching business already.
Mhm.
So you've kind of gone through and built your business before actually becoming a registered dietitian, which I
Oh
feel like a lot of RD to Bs or dietetic interns, future RDs are starting to do that now. Um,
yeah.
so I guess what made you decide to pull the trigger, I guess, and get started on it quicker, and how did that kind of like develop?
Yeah, so let's see. So I began taking clients and getting actually like pretty serious about it back in March. And so I did it from March until August. And then August was when I made everything illegal. Yay. So that was awesome. And yeah, I realized so the first year I was in school, it might have been in an MNT class actually. My professor had said that our Ds actually do like not make a lot. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? What? So I was just like, super super angry. And then when I had worked at a hospital here in Nashville the first year that I lived here, which was awful. But I had also learned that I don't want to like be like I'm in clinical either. So I was like, okay, crap. I don't want to work in food. Hell no. Like I've been doing that for 10 years. I'm done as of yesterday. Um, and for community, they I don't think they get paid that well there either. Working for like WIC and whatever else. So I was like, okay, I should have like my own practice. All right, cool. And then, I've been seeing everybody else like on Instagram, and like they have like their own things, and half of them aren't even like RDs like to even Bs. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what the why? What? So I'm like, all right, well, F this. So then I went and like did my own thing for March, and it's just been like pretty awesome. Like, since then, I actually have like a lot of like of girls from like the college that I went to. So that has like been super, super fun. And yeah, it's just like a lot better.
Yeah. So that was this March when you started then?
Yeah.
This
Yep.
March? Wow, that's awesome. That's I mean,
Yes.
you've only been doing this for what, like
Say
8 months? 8
right.
months-ish?
Yeah. hmm
Which is crazy
Yeah.
because, I mean, it seems like you started and you just took off with it, you know? Um,
I'm trying. Yes.
yeah. Um, so were you kind of like weary about getting started because you weren't like an actual dietitian yet?
Oh, so yeah, so I've had like something like some people have been like, how like are you actually like doing this because you're not an actual like RD, and then I have to kind of go and explain that we can't actually like do any M&T, right? I'm just doing just basic like weight loss, muscle
Hmm.
building, etc. So then they're like, oh, all right,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And yeah, I was kind of in that situation too. Like when
Mhm.
I got into nutrition, when I actually like went into the program,
Yeah.
like I kind of knew I wanted to do something along the lines of this.
Mhm.
I knew like I wasn't really that interested in clinical, or definitely wasn't really interested in food service much. Um, and I knew I wanted to like work with people who wanted to basically, improve their body composition with
Exactly.
nutrition.
Mhm.
Um, and then, like you said, you go on Instagram and you see all of these nutrition coaches
I was
that,
so pissed off
um,
too.
a lot of them don't like, they're not even like a part of like an actual like college program. They've never
Right.
been a part of a college program. They really don't have like any background information with nutrition except for just like what they see their people that they follow online post, the experts. Um,
Mhm.
so it made me think like if they're doing it, like why can't I, when I've gotten the actual degree or I've gone to school for it, um but just because I don't have like that registered dietitian title.
Yep. Dude, 100%. Yeah. That shit just like really irritates me.
Yeah, and like I'm, as far as like what we do, like helping people lose fat and build muscle, um like I'm not the type of person to say that you have to be an RD or an RD to be to do it.
Yeah, no,
Because
not
like
with that
there,
stuff.
yeah, there are people out there that like they're really great at doing it and they aren't um in that field. But I do wish that there was kind of like a middle ground, because like to become a dietitian, we learn so much extra stuff that
Yeah.
might not necessarily be like that applicable to helping people lose body fat and build muscle.
Mhm.
So if there was like a middle ground to where you could
Yes.
focus on just that and not the extra stuff, like I think that for like a long-term goal for them to develop, I think that would be beneficial. But
That really would be. Yeah, that would be like pretty awesome actually. Never kind of like considered that, but yes, that would
yeah.
be a great idea.
So when you first entered the nutrition program, were
Mhm.
you kind of just up in the air on what exactly you wanted to go into, or did you like know this is what you wanted to do?
I'm trying to think. Parts of me had wanted to kind of have like like I guess my own kind of practice, and then part of me was like, well, I could work in oh crap, what was it called? Oh, I have a brain fart. Where you can work, oh, in like corporate wellness, I
Corporate
guess.
wellness.
Because I think they have like some RDs there. So I had also kind of considered that, but I was like, I don't know.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, and then this idea just kind of came to me back in March. I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. And the thing about corporate wellness, at least from um my perception of it, is not as like individualized. Like you don't work with someone individually and
Oh,
do
then no.
coaching. It's more, I think it's more of like doing presentations and like to like different companies and people in the company, and then maybe running some like challenges and stuff for people for like the groups. But I
Mhm.
don't think it's like individual nutrition coaching like what we do now. um
Oh,
so
then,
yeah.
oh no. No.
Yeah,
That,
so
then no.
um what's kind of the most common problem that you see with your nutrition clients basically when they first come to you?
Ooh, probably low protein. Like I'm talking, some people are probably in the 60 grams a day range, like
Hmm.
80 grams. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
So I would say probably that a lot of them are actually under eating, right? And we always kind of think like that we're actually probably overeating when it's like actually no, you are not eating enough. So I would say that and protein are probably the biggest things, and probably lack of water. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Definitely.
would say no, I would 100% agree with all 3 of those, honestly. I think
Yes.
those are probably the 3 most common that I see too. The
Right?
protein one, like, most people are eating enough protein for just, like, general health,
In
like, they're
general,
meeting
yes.
yeah,
Yes.
they're meeting the RDA of zero point 0.8 grams per kilogram,
Yes.
but if they come to you and they're like, "Okay, I want to lose body fat and I want to build muscle, I wanna have, a defined tone, physique,"
Mhm.
whatever you wanna call it, you need to be eating more protein than zero point 0.8 grams per kilogram, so
Exactly. Yeah. I honestly like kind of hate that that's even like a thing, like the point A, but
mhm.
yeah, that's a whole like other story.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same way. I feel like it should be a little higher than that even for the general population just because of um the benefits of having muscle mass, lean body mass, and then just the satiety effects of protein
Mhm.
helps you feel more full, so you're less likely to overeat and can maybe help with the obesity issues that we see in the country and around the world. But
Yes.
uh,
100%.
so as far as overeating calories too, that was a big one that you mentioned. Or undereating calories, sorry. Undereating calories was another big one that you see. Um, so kind of take me through kind of your approach with a client if they are undereating, um how do you get them to buy in? Because I know it's really hard for people to buy into
It is
upping food.
it is very hard, yeah. So usually we'll just kind of take things like very slow. So for example, I have a client, I'm trying to think of what her current protein. I think she's at like 140 grams, right? And so she's still in a weight loss phase. So she's been in a weight loss phase uh since April. So when she came to me, she was only having maybe 80 grams of protein, like I think between 70 and 80 grams. And so, obviously, like I wasn't gonna go and then just kind of like bump it up to like 120, right? Because, like that would just be like way, way, way too much. So I bumped it up, I'm trying to think, probably like 10 or 20 grams. And then, every like couple months, like that she would be like, like I'm consistent with the whatever I'd given her, like 90 or 100 grams. And then we would just kind of like keep going up. And so now she's at 140, and I think that should be good there. So I was like, yay.
Yeah. Yeah. So slowly increasing it so they can
Totally.
get used to it, each
Mhm.
step. I think that's really important, especially because I think if you just automatically increase their protein intake up to like up 60 grams at a time or something,
Yeah.
like
Oh.
they don't learn to incorporate it through like I guess, whole food sources, and a
Yep.
lot of times they throw in protein shakes to make up for
Mhm.
that, which aren't bad. Like I'm definitely
Yeah.
for protein shakes if you need them
Oh.
to get
Oh yeah.
protein, but
Hmm.
like if you just go from 80 and then add in 60 extra grams of just a protein shake, that's a lot
Yeah.
that your body's not used to, and you might lead
Hmm.
to like digestive issues or things like that.
Yeah.
So
No.
I like the approach of slowly going up with that too.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And so I've done that with like carbs also. Like I had a client, it was actually one of like my friends. But so she started back in October, and she had only been eating maybe one meal a day, like maybe. Like I think on one of her food logs, she had only protein. Like now this was, prior to kind of like working, right? And I was like, girl, no, 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 no. So then we began, I mean, probably the lowest I have ever like, began someone, but only kind of because like she began like under 1,000 calories.
Mhm.
So, obviously like I can't go from like 1,000 to like 1,700, like holy shit, no. So basically like we had bumped it up to like 1,300, and then so last week we actually bumped it up to like 17 or 1800. So I was like, yay. So
Yeah.
that is awesome.
Yeah, so even with calories too, along with
Yeah.
protein, you take that kind of slower approach. Um, how do your clients usually, I guess, react to that? Are they pretty hesitant when you start to increase it, or you tell them that we're gonna, go up to this many calories eventually?
Yeah, I would say a lot of like the time they're kind of like, oh, like, are you sure? And I just kind of go and like explain like the reasoning why, and everything. I'm pretty sure everyone's been good with it. Because, obviously they have been like, oh wow, I can actually lose weight while I can go and be eating a lot more. Who would have thought? But yeah, so for the most part, everyone's like been pretty good. There was one person like she didn't just like kind of understand, so that's just a whole different story. We are like not working together anymore. So
Oh.
yeah, but that's okay.
Yeah, I think I think it's really hard to get some people to buy into it,
Yeah.
because they've been told through all these messages that they need to eat less, eat less, eat less, eat less,
Mhm.
and it's hard to shift your mindset to eating more.
Yeah.
And I think what you said is really important with explaining like why we're going
Mhm.
up. I think if you're able to explain the why behind what you're doing as a coach,
Oh
I
yeah.
think it helps tremendously on getting people to buy in, because it's not like you're just throwing a random protocol at them and just saying like this is what to do because I said to do it. They're not
Right.
going to have faith in
Exactly.
the process if they don't know the why behind the process.
Exactly. Yep. Always, always, always. Just like ask questions and then just like explain everything. Yep.
Yeah. And it's crazy and too, and probably like it's so rewarding once you get them up to a really high calorie level, and it's like they're feeling good in the gym, they're crushing PRs, they're sometimes
Mhm.
even looking leaner after eating
Yeah.
way more food, and they're like, I'm so glad that you pushed me to do this because I wouldn't have been able to eat this much on my own because I would
Yeah.
have been like too
Mhm.
afraid to gain body weight. Like I've
Yeah.
had over the past like week, I've been reflecting with two of my clients, and both of them we've gotten their intakes up around like 5 to 700 calories from what we started, and
Nice.
like their weight stayed the exact same. Their pictures are looking great. They are killing it in the gym, and they're both just like, I wouldn't have been able to do this without like the accountability and then having like someone there to explain why they're doing it.
Aw, yes, we love that.
Yeah. So during this time, I think a lot of people are worried about gaining body weight. um it's the winter, they're less active because they're not going on
Mhm,
walks outside, and then they're tempted with all of these foods around the
mhm.
holidays, and now fingers crossed. Hopefully, gyms don't get closed down
Dude,
again
I
soon.
know. I'm getting like all like annoyed. I'm like, oh my God, please no. I can't
Yeah,
just
I
yet.
really hope not. But um, like, is there any advice that you would give to people around this time for their nutrition or whatever, or their mindset, or what it is to just kind of reduce the stress of worrying about gaining weight?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I actually had gone over this with my future father-in-law the other day because he actually began working with me back in August. So that's been like a pretty fun. But either way, so we were talking about the holidays, and so I was like just kind of saying, kind of how to go and like approach it would be just like to overall just kind of like be mindful, right, of everything that you are consuming. So kind of think about it like, all right, like, will this extra like, piece of cake just kind of help me like get to like that goal? Well, probably not. But if you have like, half of like a slice, or if you have just like one slice, then that probably like won't be awful, right? So just
Mhm.
overall, just kind of think like about everything, but not in obviously like an obsessive way, right? But just be like, all right, will like this actually help me, or will this kind of like kind of deter like my overall progress? So that's
Yeah,
kind of
just having a really
yeah.
moderate mindset, not like black and white.
Yeah.
And I think one of the like worst things, in my opinion, that people can do, unless they're like super experienced, like if someone like you or I, and we had a competition in like
Mhm.
February, obviously we
Right.
would have to try to lose weight during this time. But if you're not in that situation and you're not super experienced, don't try to lose weight during the holidays, because I guarantee you it's probably going to happen is you're going to make your calories really low.
Hmm.
I don't know, like 4 or 5 out of the 7 days out of the week, and then
Yep.
one day is going to come up and you're going to be tempted with a bunch of treats, like maybe it is the holiday, like Thanksgiving or something,
Yeah.
or it's another day and someone like your aunt or uncle comes over and brings over, some really good food. And
Yep.
then you're probably, because you were restricting yourself so much on those other days, you're going to be more likely to way overdo it. Um,
Yep.
and then you're going to wake up the next day, be a few pounds heavier from, just food and water weight and stuff, but it's going to get inside your head. You're going to think you gained a bunch of body fat. You're going to restrict lower, and you're going to repeat that cycle over and over. And it's best to just focus on eating more to maintain your weight,
Exactly.
killing it in the gym, optimizing your metabolism that way. And then just even think about this time as like a time to purposely try to maybe build slowly, like build
Yeah.
muscle.
Mhm.
I mean, we're surrounded by all these treats. We might as well take advantage of those calories and be
Yeah,
able to actually build
that's
more
a good
muscle
point.
tissue during this time. So,
Hell yes. Yeah, and then I'm trying to think because you had posted something the other day that I liked about just overall like what did you say? Like just like maintaining, right? Like during the holidays, right? As opposed to like actually cutting. So I really, really like that. I was like, oh my gosh, yes,
yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. Well, and kind of going back to what we talked about earlier in this podcast, with your competing history, like we already explained that it's so important to not be dieting all the time and to have periods of maintenance or periods where you're in a calorie surplus to build muscle. So those
Exactly.
periods, like we have to have those in there if we actually like want to optimally build our physique anyway. So we
Yep.
might as well throw them in the holidays, like that time period.
Yeah.
It's just easier to overeat and get in that calorie surplus.
Yes. No. Yes. 100%. Yes. Yeah. I really do like that though. That is good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, it's so funny because um, it seems like as time goes on, these like methods that these, bro bodybuilders were preaching back in like
Hmm.
2005, 2010, like
Hmm.
of bulking in the winter and cutting in the summer. Like, I don't think you need to go as extreme as what a lot of them
Right.
did go back then,
Yeah.
but kind of the principle behind like you might as well, use this time to be the time that you do, try to build up your physique because
Hmm.
you have so much good food around you anyway. So,
Yes, exactly.
well, thank you so much for coming on here, Kayla.
Yes, thank you.
This was your second podcast, right?
It was, yes.
Second
Well, actually,
podcast.
I guess you could say third because the first time we did record like two different episodes, but either way,
Oh,
yes.
okay. So,
Speaking of
third
technically.
podcast, first time going live in a podcast.
Yes, yes.
Um, I think you did great, and I'm
Oh,
really
thank
glad that you
you.
were able to come on here and talk with me about this
Oh,
stuff.
yeah. Yes,
Um,
thank you.
so, where can the audience kind of find you on social media or wherever you're active on?
Yeah, so on Instagram, it's just nutrition with kales with two S's. And then my website is purelybalancednutrition.com. And then you can find majority of the information on the website as well. And then some on my Instagram too. Yeah, that's pretty much where I am currently.
All right. Cool, cool. And if you're seeing these videos or whatever, I'm gonna be tagging her and all this stuff on Instagram too. So if you see them,
Good.
definitely go follow her there. Um,
Yay. Thanks.
but yeah,
Yeah.
thanks so much for having on or coming on, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.
All right. Bye. Thank you.
Yep.